think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you? That I don't think that he's good. That I
Everyone, thank you so much for joining Sandra P's GenXtra on a perfect weather day, Saturday Night Live. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Mama Bees, hello. I hope you have had a great weekend. So far, we're not going to rush it. We are smack dab in the middle of the weekend, so we still have some more time for anyone that has not yet to go out and enjoy the weekend. Thank you, Mama Bees, for coming in, one of the moderators, and I appreciate you so much. Everyone that comes in during this live, please click the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Join me at Sandra P's GenXtra, help a growing channel. If you're Team Replay, which I appreciate, click the like button, subscribe. You can share. There is a new hype feature. It is there where you leave the likes. It's not available on all the videos, but where you leave the likes, you can scroll over. You'll get the hype feature and select that. You only get 3 per week, so use them sparingly. Welcome in, Sharon Gabo. Good to see you in the live. Thank you so much for coming in. Good evening, Sandra P's GenXtra and chat. Thank you. Thank you both for coming into the live. Anyone else that comes in during the live, I'm going to speak just as we go through with the lives. And there was a whole separate topic. As you can see my thumbnail, it's Andy Cohen and the beautiful ladies of Real Housewives of Miami. The season was chock full of aggravation for me because my lovely, lovely Gertie was disrespected and mistreated throughout the season, assaulted early in the season. And those of us that have watched that show from when it was on Peacock to when it was kind of paused and then it came to Bravo and just stuck with them. It was really disappointing to see another pylon, to see another gang up. I don't know why Andy allows it, but we'll explore it. We'll go through that a little. Because everybody, I actually just see a pattern with that. We just finished the Real Housewives of Potomac season. You see me up there to the, I guess, right side of the screen, above Gertie with the cloak of immunity on, Sandra P's cloak of immunity, which I like to offer to the new castmates or the rookies of the season. Angel was a new castmate. 2 Angels, y'all. Angel on Married to Medicine. Also Angel on Real Housewives of Potomac. Potomac Angel had an extremely tough season. Some at the hands of the mean girls, the veterans, the OGs that had been there, and some by her own doing, just being unfamiliar and not knowing. And then a lot of it is now the culture of these shows. They're trying to change the narrative, in my opinion, where they will say things like, the new ladies are different. Ash Top said it outright. Ashley Bobblehead Darby had the nerve to say it outright, as if she wasn't down to HR, screaming and crying over things that Candace would say to her. And Candace was getting fined. We found that out later. Getting fined because of some of her social media activity. And I feel like Candace is a person that responds, and she had every right to, I'm sorry, it seems kind of dark. I'm going to cut my camera off. She had every right to speak about whatever she wanted to speak about in defense of herself. Okay, I didn't realize that light was out. I'm going to turn the light back on. It's just when I rewatch and it's a little dark, I don't like it. Okay, so there we are. That is a lot better. So Ashley's coming up with something different that, you know, I don't believe her. She said, I'm going to try to be different, as if she has a choice. I would love to see Andy really do some house cleaning. I didn't need to see Ashley Darby back at all. Giselle could be paused as far as I'm concerned, or bounce back to friend of, because she didn't give anything. She didn't even get a package. And she spent the entire season picking on the rookie Angel, who for some reason couldn't defend herself. So that was really annoying. But I want to honor the thumbnail. We'll speak about this first. Welcome in, American Born. I'm so glad to see you in a live. I appreciate you joining me for a Saturday Night Live. We're just kind of running down a few different scenarios that's happening over with the Real Housewives of Miami. I already brought up Potomac. I'm going to bring up Beverly Hills because they have this bullying thing, kind of teaming up on people, and I am firmly against that. I hate it. I don't even care if the person is a disliked person. The quickest way to get me on a disliked person's side is for everybody to pile on to this person, because I don't care how horrible someone is. It doesn't take multiple people. Sunshine and Flowers, it is so good to see you in a live. I remember you from Misha IMO. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's one of my favorite content creators. And Misha IMO also has a Patreon. I am in a handful of Patreons, and that's one of them. So if you are not familiar with Misha IMO, she's hilarious. She's funny. The chat's always live. And welcome in, Sunshine and Flowers. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Sharon is speaking to everyone else that is in here. And Sunshine and Flowers, we're going over the pattern. You see, Andy Cohen, I don't like the way he is treating certain housewives cities. Now we have Real Housewives of Miami paused again. But I actually reviewed that season. I had a really hard time with the season because of Gertie being assaulted early in the season. And then we watch Alexia, Marisol, they kind of circle the wagons around Julia and try to make it into Gertie's fault. That Gertie's so annoying, Gertie this and that, and then something about the cruise and the whole season. I was just disgusted with it. I know quite a few people that did not even make it through the season after the assault took place. Everyone speaking to each other. And here's Sharon Gabo. Ashley and Giselle can kick rocks, but Andy will probably keep them. Yeah, Sharon Gabo, he does like women. He likes mean women. And I don't think he loves genuine women friendships. He does a lot with if someone is in an alliance, and it seems like more a Survivor type alliance. It seems like one of these game shows than Real Friends or Real Sisterhood, kind of like how the show started out. I don't like what's going on now. So because of the thumbnail, I'll stick to Real Housewives of Miami for now, and then I'll bring up some of the other scenarios. So we see the lovely Gertie. I realize I'm covering some of them. I don't care. Toward the end, she was the main one I cared about. And then Lisa's very self-absorbed. Lisa was annoying as well. Lisa was late a lot of the time. Stephanie was a rookie. And I started out not liking Stephanie. Sharon Gabo knows because we went through the season. Sharon threw her hat in the ring for Stephanie early. She's like, she's annoying, but I like her. We start calling Stephanie New Money because Stephanie's talking about the plane. And I think that if Marisol and Alexia kind of had the guts, they probably would have tried to pick on Stephanie the way they used to Dr. Nicole when she was on the show and the way they started to do to Gertie. Because for me, they're jealous of the younger women with husbands and with money, and they're not embarrassed to show it, especially old Marisol. And I think a lot of her shenanigans are the reason why Miami is paused to cancel. I have to put it in quotes because we've seen things pause for a long time and still come back. But I don't know. Honestly, I have to say I'm kind of surprised. I thought it would come back. I thought there'd be a shift. I thought at least Julia would get the boot. But to me, they kind of deserve what they got. Not everybody, but Marisol and Alexia. Todd, Alexia's husband, him suing the network, that doesn't help. I'll read a few comments. Apparently, Andy has no control anymore. American Born, you think that's true, or do you think that he just says that to keep people off his case? I know he's a high-level executive at Bravo. I don't know what his role is within NBC Universal. I'm unsure about the whole structure of it. But he used to call it his baby, and he's the one that does this, this, and this. And then they have these production companies, Shed Media and certain other ones, that are hired to do the shooting of the show, some of the I don't know if they do the hiring, but I know they're in charge of each woman gets a producer. It just depends on how hands-on I feel like he wants to be. I'll speak about Beverly Hills because we also have these roles where kind of the face of the franchise has a lot of power. I just mentioned Giselle. I'd love to see her demoted to friend of or even pause. She could sit down. She didn't even have a package. She brings nothing. Ash Top could go. She's bringing nothing. Robin's sitting over there on ice, and they haven't like closed the door permanently on her. Y'all, she was at BravoCon. She was on the traders panel, but she was fielding questions, and a creator, Alexander Rogers, got up and asked her a question. Robin got so mad. I'm not answering that. He was asking her if she had gotten over losing her job yet for putting her business behind a paywall and expecting us to pay for it when she was already receiving a paycheck. So Robin is on ice, but make no mistake about it, she's still invited to their big events and things like that, because I don't really see why she was there. She's forgettable on Traders. That was this past fall that Robin was in Vegas at a big company event, BravoCon. So let's see. Yeah, New Money is my girl. Yeah, Stephanie, she held her own, Sharon. She held her own with anybody. I think Alexia was the main one to come for her, and Alexia would be face of the franchise. She's original, she's OG, and New Money was not scared of her. And Lisa, Miss Late Lisa, when she got on Stephanie's Playing Late, Stephanie shut it down. Lisa wasn't late anymore. We need to have Stephanie invite Dorit somewhere, and she'll get Dorit right together. American Born says, yes, things have changed. They took away his power because he was playing favorites. American Born, that lawsuit, is it Leah? One of the New York girls has a lawsuit. That is really shaking things up because certain ones, and it started with Bethany. He became friends with Bethany. She's not likable, neither is Jill Zarin. But when they had their thing going, he was out with Bethany, partying with Bethany, and it was obvious that he was taking sides. So I could see a company doing that. He would do the same thing with Nene when he was hanging out with Nene, and Nene broadcasted all his business about him skiing the slopes. Yeah, so I could see that. I like her too. American Born, you like Stephanie too? Y'all are laughing. She had to grow on me. I was dragging her. I couldn't stand her. I'm working. And she'd come in with that little Jackie Onassis suit on that she would have. Stephanie got on my nerves maybe over half the season. And then I started liking her toward the middle because I said, this girl she don't back down. When her and Alexia, when she was in Alexia's face, like, oof, oof, and calling Alexia a Rottweiler, and Alexia, I am a Rottweiler. And then Stephanie said, oof, oof. So that was funny. I said, this girl is a trip. I think that's the only thing that you can do is kind of hold your own and not be afraid, even if someone's been there longer. And I think Angel from Potomac, y'all, I'm going to skip all around because it's all related to Miami and the fact that they are paused. If Angel in Potomac had more guts, some of her, she got a little bit of edge to her, but she doesn't want us to see it. She wants to be this fruit and nut wife and mom, sweet nature lady, when we know she could be snatching wigs. Because we heard her on Hot Mic talking about stringy hair and the garden tool is ugly and all kind of stuff. And I would like to hear that from her. I think she could have kind of fared a little bit better instead of trying to make friends with somebody like Giselle and Ashley of all people. And then they still called the woman a catfish the whole season in front of her baby. She had a baby on her lap and they were making fun of her. So she didn't owe them anything at that point. Mama Bees is doing a little housekeeping. Thank you, Mama Bees. She is one of the moderators. She said, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share the live to keep the channel in the algorithm. Replay gang, please join the conversation, type the video, and hype the video. Thank you. Excuse me, I'm still struggling with these glasses. I've ordered new ones. 5 likes, 7 in the chat. Thank you, everybody. If you are down in the chat, please click the like button. If you're in the bushes, drop down and click the like button, and I appreciate that. Finally, Lisa and Jody broke up. I didn't like them. American Born, I didn't care for Jody, but everybody that met him, like within the show, they were claiming he was so nice and everything. Now, that whole AC thing and with his eyes being bugged out of his head, I didn't know what to make of that. I know Lisa fiercely defended him, so I was kind of on his side with that. I didn't know. But I just feel like they were at different places in life. She's newly divorced, and he didn't seem like he was headed toward marriage with her. She made it clear that's what she wanted. But I don't think I paid attention to the fact that they had broken up. Cece, welcome in. Cece's one of the moderators. Thank you so much for joining me during the live. She came in speaking to myself and to everybody. So hello, Cece. Welcome in. Thank you. American Born says, American Born, Sharon's responding to American Born. He was terrible. You thought Jody was terrible? Anybody that puts up with Lisa, I have to give him a little bit of leeway, but he seemed to be a little bit controlling. I'll say that. But Lisa kind of put herself up as somebody that I just need a man, a strong man to help me, the way she used to be with Lenny. And Lenny thought it was cute until he got sick and tired of doing it. And then all of a sudden, he wanted to put her and the kids out. And he did. He put them right out of that house on Star Island. Cece, thank you. 5 likes and 9 in the chat. Please like and subscribe to ensure Sandra P's GenXtra moves up in the YouTube algorithm. Yes, it is halfway about that mighty, mighty algorithm, and then halfway about the support of the subscribers. And then new people, they come in, they will forget to subscribe, or maybe they're doing a wait and see approach. But sometimes you may not be brought back to the same channel. I've seen people like one and done. I don't know, maybe they don't like the content, and that's okay too. But they're engaging, they're leaving comments, and then you don't see them as much. So just go ahead and subscribe. Join us here, join a growing channel, and we appreciate you. We're very welcoming, and we don't all think alike. We have housewives we cannot stand. I'm going to talk about one. And then we have those that others cannot stand. But I mean, we get along pretty good in here. It's pretty fun. Exactly. Yeah, they didn't like Jody. I didn't have a problem with Jody. Sandra, take the cloak from Angel. Sharon Garbo been trying to make Angel lose her cloak of immunity ever since she got it. You know they have to have it the full first season. But Sharon, I don't know if it works because there's rumors that she may not come back. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they invited her back, but it depends on what she and Bobby, of course, she's going to find out what Bobby wants to do. And then if Giselle's going to be friend of or full time. And somebody mentioned that Andy likes Ashley and Giselle. I think he does. I think he was annoyed with them, but I don't see them getting the boot. I'd love Ashley, at least one of them go. And honestly, I can stomach Giselle a little more than Ashley, even though I think she's terrible. Lenny created that monster. He did American Born. He got her in Vegas when she was probably in her early 20s, like 21 or 2, and started taking care of her. She's been married to him her whole, I guess your growth stage from 21 or 22, you're still like a baby. That's college years or before that. Lisa wasn't in college. She was, I guess, a bottle girl or something like that. And then when he swept her up, took her to Miami, they had the house on Star Island, and he was her first and only husband. He's the father of her children. So I will say he did create that monster. But Stephanie tamed her as far as that lateness, honey. When she strolled in there late, and Stephanie started yelling. Stephanie barked like a big dog, and she'll let you know. We need that for Dorit because I'm tired of Dorit over there on Beverly Hills. We need the cloak to cover all of Miami. We did American Born. It didn't work. I was telling them, we were warning them. Listen, they need to turn this around with Gertie because for Julia, of all people, to assault someone and then use Alexia and Marisol to try to pretend that Gertie had done something to her with the whole Captain Sandy boat trip. None of that was ever clear. I think Julia might have had a crush on Captain Sandy, and she knew that her wife, Martina, was going through her cancer treatments. And because Julia is a goat herding dog, allegedly, and in my opinion, I think I have a banner running, because Julia is a goat herding dog who doesn't respect Martina. Remember the reunion, all the stuff that came out with her and her friend Audriana. Julia thought that something would get popping with her and Captain Sandy. And I think she got jealous of Gertie on the boat as well. When her and Gertie, I don't know if they were sharing rooms or not, but she didn't want Gertie at the dinner on the boat. She didn't want Gertie going to certain events on the boat. So why did you invite the lady? Because Gertie and Russell, as she told us during the season, most of the cast, I think all of the cast had been invited, but there were different trips for Virgin Voyages. So Russ and Gertie were on the first group that went, also with Captain Sandy. And then when it was time for Martina and Julia to go, Martina was either sick or didn't want to go. I leaned toward didn't want to go because Martina was in remission, but Martina was also getting sick of Julia cheating around Miami with the Haitian mortician. That's what Adriana said. We didn't know anything about it. That's what Adriana said. And I have to believe her. I really do. I'm going to read a few comments and then we'll talk a little more about this pause, this new Bravo. I don't know what it is that's going on with the bullying and the ganging up. It seems worse than it has been in years past. We've had bullies on that show. I think there's no bigger bully than Teresa Giudice in New Jersey, but it's never, I'm trying to think of if she focused on one person. Maybe Melissa, but Melissa holds her own. And I don't know. I hadn't seen anything like what Miami and the ladies, particularly Julia, and then Marisol and Alexia did to Gertie. And it was not pleasant to watch. It wasn't fun to watch. I kind of felt like I couldn't look away from it. It was so bad, and I didn't want to just like leave it in the middle. But I know a lot of people that did. I know a lot of people that had a hard time watching it. Gertie was too nice and too weak. Yes, Sean Gabo, she just wouldn't stand up for herself. She couldn't. Tony, thank you so much for coming in. Hey. We are discussing Real Housewives of Miami cancellation or pause. I'm unsure. And then Beverly Hills, y'all, I'm not reviewing that. It's boring to me. It really is. I don't care for Bose. I don't care for Amanda, but I can tell y'all, I hate the ganging up that they're doing against Amanda. And Bo's supposed to be so big and bad. I don't know why she feels like she needs a group of people to go up against little old Amanda who's sitting around talking in a baby voice. I thought that whole thing this episode is kind of disgraceful. Oh, who's gonna be Pinocchio? Amanda. And then they're like, y'all are 50 years old making fun of this lady like this. I didn't like that. And then Kyle, now we know Kyle has nothing going on that she wants to share. Because she has a pretty jam-packed life, but Kyle gets to dictate what she wants to show and not show. And I don't like that either. I don't know how Andy allows that. And y'all, Kyle has the first chair again, and Amanda is down on the couch. Amanda should actually be first chair because what we're looking at so far, every single scene she's being discussed. All that ganging up made me take Amanda's side. Yeah, that's usually what happens, American Born. You start to feel a little compassion for the person that's getting ganged up on. Even Atlanta, we're getting Atlanta back next month. I won't say they ganged up on Britt Eady, but what Kenya did with supposedly showing her nudes, now we don't know who the nude lady was. We have no idea. But Britt, the tides were kind of turning, and I think people were kind of looking at Britt like, well, maybe she's not so bad. I didn't care for Britt Eady. I didn't think she ever belonged. And then I didn't care when she left the show. But by the time she left the show, I feel like she was turning audience sentiment around. But she no call, no show for the reunion. And then once you do that, pretty much gone. Laughing at Cece. Did I miss a comment from Cece? Oh, Cece says it's Aries season. I can't do weak. It's Aries season. But Cece, where I give Gertie flowers is that Gertie was going through cancer and it was grueling. And that's another thing about Gertie's, I won't call it a storyline. Her life, she was sharing all of that. Her and Russell, some of those scenes were some of the most candid and touching scenes I have seen on reality TV. At the doctor, when he had shaved her head for her, just all of that. And for this, as Russ called it, big, tall woman standing over my wife, for Julia to assault her for talking, all of them talk. Julia talks a lot and says stuff that makes no sense. And you want to throw something in her goat herding face, and nobody ever has. So her to do that to Gertie and then want Gertie to apologize and then try to hold against her. Well, Gertie showed these texts at the party, the cancer party. It wasn't a cancer party. It was a party that one of those design magazines had thrown for Gertie, and they didn't want to listen to Gertie and the text messages she was showing between her and Julia. So she had every right to exhibit it on the big screen. I didn't have a problem with it. And then they got mad at Stephanie. Sharon, this is another time when I started liking Stephanie. They were like, we're all leaving. We're walking out. Now, they didn't walk out when Julia assaulted Gertie, but they did walk out from Gertie's party when Gertie showed those private texts between her and Julia and got mad at Stephanie. Somebody came back to get her. You're not coming out here with us? And Stephanie's like, no, I just got here and I need to see and hear both sides. So we need more women like that can stand on their own too and not sit up and allow people to bully one. What are they going to do next season? They're going to start jumping people? I don't know. This is not what I like. Dear Yvette, thank you so much for coming in during the live. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bose is a clown. Sharon Gobble, I'm disappointed in Bose. I really don't care for her that much. She doesn't have that much going on this season. I mean, I know her and Keely are doing the quad storyline. I hate to call it that. Well, y'all, I've become suspicious over some of these IVF journeys that they're sharing on TV. I think that, but it just doesn't seem true to me. She's not sharing a lot. And then her feud with Amanda is annoying. And I don't care for Amanda, but why is Bose picking on Amanda so much? If you watch any of that after show, every scene, Bose is talking junk about Amanda. And it doesn't make sense. I don't know yet what Amanda's done other than be annoying. And most of them are annoying. But she got Kyle on her side, and even Sutton's trying to coach her a little bit. I question Sutton's motives. I think Sutton just doesn't want them to start picking at her. Because since Garcelle didn't come back, I think the gang up was supposed to be Garcelle. But Garcelle said, let me get out of here. I'm going over to Lifetime and work some jobs. Dear Yvette, speaking to everyone as she came in, as they spoke to her. Thank you, dear Yvette. And Cece is doing housekeeping. Please like, share, subscribe to enjoy the amazing content. Thank you so much, Cece. I appreciate that. Everyone speaking back. Yeah, that boyfriend is sus. American Born. I feel like Keely, He said he's a businessman. What is the businessman? I never know what they do when they just say they're a businessman. I think he said sales rep. What are you selling? What is the sales that you're repping? I don't know anything about them. And she's just sitting there trying to show that, this is her fiance. I hope she doesn't marry him, though. I don't think she'll make that mistake. Because when he sat down and had that sit-down meeting with her and her daughter was looking at the both of them like they were crazy. And this girl's 16, 17 years old. She's a younger teen. She's not in college yet, but she's definitely headed there. And I feel like she's a little bit suspicious of what's going on between Bose and Keely. I don't care what he's saying. Bose is doing it because Dorit doesn't like her. Yeah, American-born Bose is kind of taking Dorit under her wing, and she's, I hate to call it mammy mode because that's kind of insulting, but I can't call it anything else. Why is she so protective of Dorit? She just met the lady, and she's 10 toes down for Dorit. And Dorit's wrong in a lot of scenarios. Now, Amanda shouldn't be talking about Dorit. Amanda doesn't know Dorit enough to weigh in the same way that Kyle would. Kyle and Dorit used to be friends. They would go out on double dates with the husbands. They would vacation together. Even though Kyle told us on an Amazon Live a year or so ago that they're not really close like that. And Dorit took offense to that. American-born says, I hate to say it, but CK did an interview with Amanda this week, and it was really good. Oh, did she come across well? Okay. And you know what? It is turning audience sentiment. Even people that dislike her, like, I don't care for what she's showing on TV. I don't like the way she's always saying, my husband doesn't make in a month. No, I make more in a month than my husband makes all year. All that the little digs and stuff she does. I don't like it when she does that kind of stuff. Like she was trying to flex by being on a work call. She's in the car with Erica Jane and Rachel Zoe. Rachel Zoe has a ton of businesses. And when she's on vacation, she's on vacation. So there's little things Amanda does to get on my nerves, but not to a point where I want to see Bose and Dorit trying to bully this girl. I didn't understand that, and I really don't like it. I might have to watch some of that Carlos interview. I cannot take his voice, and I do not like Carlos. He is such a Bravo worshiper. Carlos, they don't want you back. You're not going back. And I still think he got fired, even though he lied about it. Apparently, Rachel Zoe is being nasty to her, but was nice all season. Yeah, I think that Rachel Zoe is getting a little creeped out. They brought this up on BravoCon. Andy asked the question. He was like, now, Amanda didn't go to BravoCon. I found that interesting. She was not in Vegas. They said, which one of the castmates has been most influenced by Rachel Zoe's incredible style? And they all started laughing, and both said, Amanda. But I didn't know at the time, the audience didn't know at the time that they had already turned on her and all this stuff was going on. I just thought it was like family related that she wasn't there because she's got these little kids. Excuse me, y'all. But Amanda has a lot going on with those little children. And then for them to say that she's not sharing a lot, but when they asked her about the cult, she brought it up. And then she also, at the dinner, when she was getting into it with Dorit, she was saying, I'm hanging on by a thread. The loss of her child. That's very personal to bring up to a group of women. And she did tell them that. So I don't know why they think she's not sharing. I don't understand that part of it. She said that they have already filmed the reunion. She explained all that in the interview. Oh, okay. That's going to be interesting, American-born, because I'm noticing on the after show, you know how they sit people in 2s and 3s. Amanda's by herself. So even if you don't like Amanda, I don't really care for her, but it just makes me feel a little sad for her that she's sitting here by herself, that she's getting bullied by these grown older women. Now, Kyle, I don't know where Kyle stands with her now, but she's windmilling for her on the show. So I don't know. At least they maybe could have put Kyle with her on the after show or Sutton, but I wouldn't trust Sutton. If I had to have a friend like Sutton, I think I'd stand alone. I think I'd pull a Garcelle and get up and leave in the middle of the thing. And they still try to do her Dr. Heavenly and throw that big hand over Garcelle's shoulder. She's like, I'm not taking any pictures. So that was it. She left. CC. I just want to see fabulous homes, shopping, events, and travel on Beverly Hills, not their asinine issues. CC, thank you. This is what we want. These supposed to be the luxury girls. So now they're getting in a round robin to kind of jump on people. Like at the dinner table, I will give Bose that home, that estate over in Italy, Tuscany, Florence, beautiful. I think that's one of the best trips I've seen as far as the luxury. The room, Jennifer Tilly's room with the chapel off from her room. Dorit had a whole sauna to herself. They had a theater big enough for opera. And you sitting here talking about, when you saw the mask, did you call me Pinocchio? And Amanda, she better get rid of that baby voice and let them know, okay. And then they say, oh, if she's joking. Oh, okay, you like to joke. I didn't know you liked me, but since we're joking, can I talk about that hump under your wig? Can we talk about that hair hat? Did you see that thing that Bose had on her head when she had that pink suit on? And you're going to sit up and make fun of somebody? And you know that the money is there. Bose travels with her. I don't know if she travels with a hairstylist, but she travels with a stylist and people that get her clothes and stuff together. So she needs to hire somebody to do them wig or either put some straight backs in or break something. Because what she's doing is ridiculous. She's too big for all that big hair. He doesn't talk very much in the interview. Oh, that might be a good one then, because I cannot stand the sound of his voice. And I hate the way he'll ask a question. The guest will start to answer it, and he'll start to interject or try to change it if it's not going the way he wants to. Amanda, I don't care if they like her or not. She's very skilled in kind of putting a narrative the way that she wants to, because I think at the beginning of the season, a lot of people might not have liked her, but from the way Bose and them are treating her, Bose and Dorit mainly, it's kind of turning the tides a little bit. But since the reunion's been shot already, she is not seeing everything that's going on social media, but I think she kind of knew that things were turning her way in advance. It made me like her more after the interview. Well, that's good. That's a good outcome for her. The wig is laughable, American Born. I don't know what part you were laughing at, but that hump is laughable. The house is beautiful. Yes. And Amanda, the other thing Amanda does, she tries to use her youth. I'm younger than all of these women. And Sutton was kind of jealous because earlier in the season, Sutton's like, you're not that young. You're not a baby. She didn't call herself a baby, but I'm Gen X. I'm mid-50s. I'm 55. That is different than a 40-year-old. Amanda is in a different stage in her life than the 55-year-olds, which will be Kyle and Sutton and Erica. So some of them might be a little bit jealous because we see Erica's still walking around like a PYT. But when you look at her, the camera zooms in on Erica, no PYT over there, Erica. We passed it. We passed that, baby. She looks good, but she's not, Amanda is a young woman. She's still in the midst of starting her family. She's got little babies over there. I can't with Bose's wig, a mess. Wigs plural, CC said. Me either, CC. I mean, and it's not even hit or miss. It's usually bad. The one with the hump in it, she had to see that. She had to see it. I'm glad you said it. American Born is laughing. I mean, and it shouldn't be a topic of conversation. Bose got too much money to walk around like that. Sean Garbo said, I never liked Bose. I didn't care for her only because I heard rumors about her and who she was in corporate America. I've known of women like that back when I was in finance. I left it. Have been gone the better part of 10 years. I work a job where I'm in a union and in uniform right now in transportation. And I don't miss it at all because the Boses, they're not a dime a dozen because they slam the door behind themselves. They want to be the only one. And they will target other, unfortunately, Black women to make them the odd one out while they get to shine. I don't want to say all that stuff about Bose because it's related to her past career. It's not related to this, but then again, it is. If you look at her treatment of Garcelle, it is. Because when she first came on her rookie season, she invited Garcelle over, and then she wants to grill Garcelle. Tell me everything about everybody. And Garcelle's like, well, you should get to know them for yourselves. And I could see it in Bose's face. She didn't like that answer, and she was against Garcelle from then. And then she picked the one person that didn't like Garcelle. Remember, Dorito used to always call Garcelle aggressive and all this kind of stuff. I think Dorito's aggressive. I don't care that she's bone thin and she's talking in clip tones. She's very aggressive. Garcelle was never aggressive. She was just direct. And if she asked a question, she's looking right at them, asking the question, and they always took offense. But now, like Bo started out the season questioning Kyle about her girlfriend, Morgan. Garcelle could have never did that. Garcelle brought it up and they had a full-on fit for 2 to 3 episodes. They are jealous, I think, because she is younger. Yeah, American born, and I don't know why. They've been there. They've been 40 and young and starting their families and knew her husbands. Well, he's not her husband yet, but they're planning this wedding, which she's going around saying, I can have what I want because I'm the one paying for the bulk of the wedding. That kind of stuff gets on my nerves about Amanda, but it's not enough for the hate train. I don't get it. Yes, Bose is too desperate. Davette, I hope and pray Keely don't make a fool out of Bose, but it looks like that's what he's doing for me, because he seemed kind of over it when those eggs didn't take, or whatever the, excuse me y'all for not using the correct terminology because I know it's so serious, but they didn't have the success that they wanted to have, and they were on the phone. Bose had to get up and remove herself. That was real. She was really upset, and she came and sat back down. Keely's like, so we think we're gonna get started again? And I'm looking like, are you crazy? Do you know what that does to their body? Her body is like, you kind of, it tries to trick itself that it's pregnant or can hold a child right then. It's grueling, it looks like to me. Quad, going through the same thing with a boyfriend. It just doesn't make sense. Cece, yeah, I agree. I tried to give Bose a chance in the beginning. Once I peeped how she moved, I was out. I trust my intuition and eyesight. Me too, Cece. I tried to give her a chance. I always want to be on the side of somebody like her coming in with luxury, with money. She has the lifestyle that a lot of these people aspire to, pretend that they have, but she put herself in Dorit's pocket. Why are you sitting up under Dorit? This woman has a whole questionable everything to me, starting out with that robbery, which they don't want to talk about. They're going to crucify Dr. Wendy and Happy Eddie. But Doritos had $1 million robbery, and they left her phone outside with the light on and all this kind of stuff. But then if we talk about that, it's like, oh, y'all talk about everything else. We should, because this is not something that is unique to Potomac. Cece, I agree. I did too, but she's something else. Yeah, I hate to feel that way about Bose, but I want to see how she kind of fixes this. American Born says, dear Yvette, she doubled down on Watch What Happens Live the other night. That PK was supposed to be paying it, but the house was put into her name only last year. She's still lying. Dorit is sitting up there lying, American Born. I don't believe it, because at one point she showed emails or something from PK saying, I'm no longer paying for the house or paying the full amount for the house. They're going to split the bills or something like that. And then there were reports, you know, they have all these crazy double-decker mortgages and stuff sitting on top of each other, and one will go into default and the other one will, and all of this crazy stuff. And Dorit's playing the silly housewife, but at the same time, she's pretending she's this businesswoman, as she puts in quotes for Amanda. Amanda doesn't have anything in foreclosure. And Kyle even said it. However she makes her money, she bought Mauricio and I's house. And I said, yeah, Kyle, that's true. She did. And then she said, I bought it, not my husband. So I know that man gonna get tired of that. I think Rachel is very thin. Why is she covering her body? Dear Yvette, yeah, she is. I mean, I was going to say, I won't say unnaturally thin, because honestly, when I'm thinking back to Rachel Zoe, I used to watch the Rachel Zoe Project. So she's that age. She's Gen X too. She was always that tiny. She and Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton are the ones that made 00 a thing. They think it's cute. I don't think it's cute. I mean, I don't knock that, because you don't want to knock where if someone's like chunky or they're fat or oversized or any of that. So I won't knock the thin girlies, but she is very, very small. I think that's why she's always in a caftan and all that kind of stuff. I saw that they are broke. Yeah, I think that Dorit and PK are doing a lot of, I don't know if they do scams, but something is going on. Something in the milk is not clean. And I think PK kind of is annoyed that Dorit is even on TV trying to live this glamorous lifestyle. Like she's Sheila E. or somebody. Honey, you ain't living no glamorous life. And the cards are just rejected. I think Dorit on her card was, I don't know what was going on, but she spent a long time at that register. You're trying to show ID. You're trying to do this. You're trying to do that. Well, let me move this card. Well, I'm traveling. She hadn't even left the country and one of the cards wouldn't go through. So, Miss Lady, you are in the Hamptons. That is upstate New York. That's not Timbuktu. You don't have to let them people know that you went somewhere. Now, when you travel internationally, that's different. Unless maybe they think you're already a fraud. Same thing with Wendy. Wendy got sick every time she had to use her card. Wendy ran out the store. Oh, Jazzy, pay for this, pay for this. And she's outside. She's sitting on the curb, half sick. As soon as the transaction went through, And Jazzy came out and gave her the bag with the t-shirts or keychains or whatever. Oh, let me go play some bongo drums. And she's over there. I'm like, wow, go ahead, Wendy. I still wish her well. I still don't want her and Eddie in jail. Yeah, I don't know when their court date is. I have to go over to WeGo, which is Taria. What else is going on? You know, she be boots on the ground over there at the courthouse. And then she remodeled the whole house. Is that Dr. Wendy? Yeah, remodeled the whole house. And the house looked fine to me. Did Dorito, did she remodel her house too? Bo's lied. She said it. I didn't like that, dear Yvette. Bo should have stood 10 toes down and said, yeah, and I did say it. I said Pinocchio when we were talking about the mask. I was just making a joke, a bad joke. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Instead of, I don't know. What are you saying? I said, I don't like the way Bose talks to people. Bose talks crazy to people. I don't like that. She's not friends enough with that girl to try to joke or any of that stuff. Thank you, Mama Bees. 40 minutes into a 1 hour live. Thank you so much, Mama Bees. I appreciate it. I'm going to pull up some things from Miami. I saw a couple of statements. Lisa said something. Lisa don't believe that they pause the cancel, honey. You know how Lisa is. Lisa wants to live in her own world. And then also Alexia is saying something. But Alexia, I blame you for a lot of this. You and Maddie saw the way y'all didn't stand up for Gertie. They're passing out Ozempic like free samples in Hollywood. American Born, I hope people that are already naturally thin, high metabolism, aren't taking Ozempic. They said it changes the structure of your stomach for good. And some people's stomach like freeze. I don't know. I couldn't do it. I liked Amanda. Derivette, you liked Amanda? She was growing on me. I don't care for Amanda. I don't like all that all the digs she throws at her husband. She doesn't have to tell us that she's the one paying for everything. Something about her gets on my nerves. It's like a little strange thing, like kind of one of those, I won't say a weird kid, but somebody that doesn't really have social skills, but she does, because according to Bose, honey, she's running a whole cult. She left the cult. Now people joined the cult. So like, Bose, you're doing a lot because you're trying to sell the same type product Amanda sells, only hers is selling and yours is not. Those courses. Live well, manifest money, and all this stuff, courses. American Born. I pointed that out to someone as well. Wendy played sick when the bill come, didn't she? And then she stayed home one night. She had all this stuff in her room. And I'm like, that's already paid for. Giselle already had the producers pick up those Nevis checks. So you could have went. But then Church 612, welcome in. This is my moderator, my sister. Not ran out sick when it's time to pay. She did Church 612. I'm going to get you to start watching that because Dr. Wendy's coming back out. Yeah, they were on a trip to Nevis. Everybody was getting their little stuff. They were also, Sharon, remember they got mad at my angel because she said, Bobby sent me $5,000. That's another one that sometimes doesn't know when people are looking sideways at you, because she still thought she and Giselle were like, Giselle was the big sis. Bobby sent me $5,000 and they were mad at that. Giselle went behind her back in the confessional. We boss bees. We don't care if Bobby sent you $5,000. And then Wendy's in the store getting t-shirts, keychains, and couldn't even swipe her card for that. And never know her PIN number. What's the PIN number? I don't want to use it too many times. Y'all, I do something terrible. I might have 1 to 2 pins across, and they say don't do that. But I can't remember like 8 pins. I'm just not doing it. Sharon says, I know Wendy did get sick every time she swiped her card. She did. She had a scene with Eddie, and it was the same thing. He was like, you better remember your PIN number. Don't swipe it too many times. I said, production don't like y'all at all. They catching all the fraud, allegedly, and in our opinion. Remember when she was in the house, they were paying in the house, all those renovations. She said, I don't even know the budget. Budget smudge it. She didn't say budget smudge it. I said budget smudge it. But Wendy said, I don't even know. When they said it's 100,000, I don't know. Just bring the bill. Acting like she don't know. And the people over there just taking notes. They got somebody that's just watching that, taking notes, clipping. American Born. No, Jareed, I think, hasn't done anything to the house, but she better start packing. She's sitting over there, American Born. She said she didn't know that they were even in foreclosure. David said she should have taken them to Ghana. Why Italy? Dear Yvette, I wondered about that. There hasn't been an African trip since the Real Housewives of Atlanta went to Africa. What country were they in, y'all? Marlo's first season, where Todd outed her. You had to pay for your own trip. You wanted to be a part of the number so bad. you tagged along as a friend of and paid all your own expenses. Remember old big head Todd over there telling all of Marlo's business? Yeah, I would have loved to seen that, dear Yvette. But again, Bo's trying to be the only one. She's not trying to take them to Ghana. But they had already had a trip to Italy. So that is a really good point. Mama Bees is speaking to my sister and the other moderator, Trish 612, also CC. American Born is laughing. Yeah, these shows, and they should be comedy. We should be able to make fun of them. We shouldn't have to worry about people going to jail, people ganging up on people. And Bo's, how bold were you going to get with Amanda? You want to fight the lady? It was very aggressive. And the other one's just sitting around looking like anything can happen. Kyle gets on my nerves. I'm one of the 11 people that still like Kyle Richards because she's been the same. She's annoying. She's a trip. But I was glad she was standing up for Amanda because I don't know what Bo's problem was. I didn't like it at all. That's probably because, we talking about Wendy. That's probably because she had 40 cars who could remember the pen. Yeah, American Born. Wendy was probably like, try this one. Try this one. Because Dorito did that. Try this one. Try this one. Girl, you better put that stuff back. That is a mess. Bose is good with her money, though. When they went in Dolce & Gabbana, she said to herself, I brought all the clothes I want to wear. Bose didn't buy a thing. I couldn't really blame her for that. And I know she's got the money, but she said, let Sutton and them get something. That's when Todd was after Candy during the Africa trip. Hey, American Born, I wonder if he paid that medicine man. You remember that medicine man talking about, your love is right here. He is traveling here with you. And then he turned around and told Sheree, you never gonna get married again. Now, Sheree had already been on TV with Bob Whitfield, who said, I don't like her. I never liked her. But I couldn't believe when that medicine man said that. I thought it was romantic at the time. I said, oh, that is so nice. And then they showed it at the reunion. Meanwhile, Todd done probably slipped the man $100 bill. Her right there, big money. Let her know on her future. And now he's sitting over there. They said she had to write him a check for a cool meal. Candy said, that's a lie. Y'all believe it? I think it might be a lie because I don't think it's $2 million. I think it's more than that. I think Todd could pretty much prove his worth more than $2 million. I think that sounds low. American Born, you like Kyle too? People drag Kyle. And guess what? She don't really have a package either. She's sitting in first chair, unlike Giselle. Giselle's in second chair. American Born is laughing. Yeah, there's a lot of comical stuff in these shows, and I wanted to stay light. I mean, looking at the news and everything that goes on in the world, Angie, stop putting Housewives on here where it's going to be kind of miserable. Now, I want to see if Amanda's coming back or not, because I feel like the tide is turning and more people do like her. Trust 612. Hello, everyone in chat. Sorry, I was late. I didn't speak. Hope everyone's good tonight. That's fine, Trust 612. We know. I appreciate whenever anyone comes in, whatever time. And then if your team replay, which watch it from the beginning, follow behind the stream, click the hype button if that's an option. Sharon Gobble is laughing. You remember that? This is probably about the African medicine man. And that was a really good question that Yvette had. Like, okay, why are you going to Italy? Why didn't you take them to Ghana? Because we are due for another African trip. And Bose is one of the housewives that could do it. Now, actually, Quad didn't plan the Jamaica trip. Quad planned the, no, she didn't plan a trip this year. That was Toya. Toya and Eugene took over the couples trip because Dr. Simone and Cecil offered it to them. Sharon said that Todd was a scammer from the beginning. I thought that he and Candy had some chemistry. What Mama Joyce said, they both short and they both got big heads. Mama Joyce used to give Todd HELL. She really did. And turns out she might have been right. I hope we get the details on Candy's divorce. She's trying to shield all the information because her kids are big enough to read. Welcome in, Kiwan JTV. Everyone, this is one of my fellow content creators. A lot of good content, including scripted TV, y'all. So you don't have to be bothered with Tyler Perry. Give Kiwan J the views, and she will tell you all about everything that's going on over there. And some of that sisters foolishness, Love and Hip Hop and stuff too. I stopped watching Love and Hip Hop, but I do watch the reviews with Kiwan J TV. So y'all go over there. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. American Born too. Y'all, these comments are going by fast. Okay, let me see. We'll go from Kiwan J. Sharon Gabo dragged Todd. She said he was a scammer from the beginning. I don't know. I had hopes for them. I mean, they had a successful marriage. They got those 2 sweet kids, Blaze and Ace. Ace is an actor. He's talented too. He gets commercials, and they made it over the 11-year mark. So they made it more than, what's the 7-year itch? So they're at 11 years before Todd start itching. But that's Candy's fault. Candy was always dragging a third party in the bedroom. I hope we get the details of Candy's divorce. I think we will. Kiwan J spoke. And let's see, American Born. He played it from the beginning. Yeah, I don't see it for Todd. I hope he wasn't, but Mama Joyce swore that that's what was going on. And guess who hooked him up? Phaedra, High Class Parks. She's the one who hooked him up. I stopped liking Kyle when she screamed out about Kim's dependency issues. That was foul to do to your sisters. Yeah, CC, she used to be so hard on Kim. But you know what, CC? I feel like Kyle was always a little bit jealous of Kim as Kim's younger sister. And Kim was that girl. Back in the day, Kim was always on TV. Kim was, she was like the typical American blondes, one of those, I forgot what they call it, American after school special type girls. And she was supporting the family for a long time with her acting. Remember when Kim shouted out, "You stole my house," to Mauricio? Allegedly, that was how he got in the real estate business. They were doing some shady dealings, allegedly, with Kim Richards' house. And now that man got a whole $100 million portfolio, but it's like a pair of platinum handcuffs. He can't leave Kyle. He don't want to split that money. Sure did. Yeah, that was kind of dirty. I think that's why Kathy Hilton started coming on, because she needed to support Kim a little bit. Kim, evidently, they said she's not well enough to be back. But I miss old Kim. Another person who has issues that I could see back, but they say it's not good for her either, is old Katie Ross on Potomac. When she actually called her the toupee. She said, "That's a terrible toupee." She had called Ashley dumb. "I don't think I called you dumb. Maybe I said you were stupid." And then Robin was cracking up. Katie used to drag everybody. She wasn't scared of anybody. I kind of miss Katie. Candy was a come up for Todd. American Born. He said he's so glad he kept his condo. Ophelia, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. It's good to see you. Hello, Sandra P. Thank you. He got to take you got to take the dogs out? Okay. American Born has some little pups she's taking care of. I agree, Sharon. I thought that too about Todd, Trish 612. You didn't see it for Todd either, Trish? Todd can't catch a break. Y'all up there with Mama Joyce. I'm in the minority. I thought it was a real love story, but then now I think back to that African medicine man. How did that man know that? And did Todd tip that man? Inquiring minds want to know. Is Boswell liked in Ghana? I have no idea. It would be cool if any American Housewives could link up with the trip with the Lagos Housewives. Yeah, CC, that would be amazing. I don't know where to watch that. American Born was looking for a link, and we're connected over on IG. If anybody else knows where to watch it, let us know, because they said that one is really good. I don't believe Candy would give up custody. No, I don't either. Trust 612, Todd didn't want no custody. You know how these men do. They want a little check, and they want the woman to cower and be afraid and then say, "Okay, I'll give you what else you want." So I don't think she wrote a $2 million check. I could see something like a cool 5, because Todd, in fairness to Todd did bring a lot of business ideas to Candy. He really did, with the restaurants and things like that. And with the whole, the Broadway and producing, Candy is like a big idea type person. And I view Todd as a more of a details person. Like she said, she wants to get an EGOT, the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. And she's won an Emmy, she's won a Grammy, and a Tony. She had some Broadway stuff, the Denzel play. So the only thing she's missing is that Oscar. Candy, I don't know. You got to hook up with Ron Coogler or somebody that's Oscar worthy. Mama Bees was speaking to Kiwan J. And Ophelia is speaking to everyone. Big Bo's is very aggressive. Dear Yvette, I hate to say that because they call us aggressive, but Dorito called Garcelle aggressive, who was actively working to be non-aggressive. And Bo's be like, "Well, what did you say I said?" Like when she was talking to Amanda, I said, "Why is she talking to Amanda like that?" I just didn't like that. I do find her aggressive. But if anybody says that, we know what she's going to say. So I don't think anybody will say that to Bose. And let me see this comment from Church 612. Todd working on production team when he met her could never match Candy's money. And Candy was always independent, so I think he got jealous of her. Yeah, I think eventually he did get jealous of her, because when she would do she does a lot of streaming. She likes to share a lot of stuff with the audience. Now, Candy's a millennial. Candy's in her 40s. But she caught on very quickly to social media and things like that. And she would be doing her speak on it and all the other little stuff. Her glam would be doing her while she'd be talking. Then we start seeing Todd's big head in the frame, kind of making jokes and saying stuff. Oh, if I had to knock one of your friends down, maybe it would be Portia. Why would you say Portia? Portia has lied on you and your wife. Why would you say Portia? I could see that though. I could see Portia being up for it. I really do. Oh my God, I wish Katie Ross was better. Cece, she is so talented. She's funny. She is good for reality TV. It's not good for her. But her and Kim Richards, oh, I could give Andy an idea. They could do something. You know how they do Love Hotel? They could do something like Bravo, Celebrities, Sober House, kind of like a House of Villains, and have Katie Ross and Kim Richards and have some counselors or something there. Who's the drunk one? No, Leah's suing and they can't bring Leah. There's other drunk ones. Karen Huger. Karen to be the grand dame of the Bravo TV Sober House. I don't know. Would that be exploitative? I would watch it. I would watch that. It's up and stuck with Todd's scamming tail. Cece don't see it for Todd at all. That's what Mama Joyce. That's what Mama Joyce said from the beginning. Y'all, I promise to go back and look at these Miami statements, and I will. But I don't know. I guess Miami was getting kind of boring because everything else kind of took priority. Miss Sandra, your skin is glowing. Thank you so much, Kiwan JTV. I appreciate that. I had a great day. We had beautiful weather today, and I'm just relaxing and chilling, and finally got this little stuff twisted up. It's not locked yet, though. I'm going to see what I decide to do. I always go back, and then I'll end up not locking it, but I had kind of a self-care day, other than I had some interlopers get into my space, but I got rid of them safely. No, it was just, I was glad to have them. I believe she definitely gave Todd the scammer, in my opinion, more than $2 million. Sharon Garbo, me too. That's why I feel like with a straight face, she's saying, no, the other side is leaking information, but it would have been sealed, and that is not true. So it's not less than 2 million, Candy. Todd wasn't taking 1.5 or 1. And Todd was being very smug and cocky in his video. I never used to see Todd live. Now, in fairness, I don't follow Todd, but he was on there like this and that, and his big head is all in the video, playing songs that are kind of like mocking type songs, like Get Money. Now, he didn't play Get Money. I don't know what he played, but I felt like he was mocking Candy. And I don't love Candy, but I do like her hustle. I love her love for family. I don't want to see anybody taken advantage of in that way. So I do hope at least the beginning of their relationship was true. Half of y'all was saying no, more than half. They said he was a scammer from the beginning. And let's see, Candy, I don't know about an Oscar. She was horrible on the shot. Dear Yvette, maybe she can take some acting lessons. Ace is doing pretty well. Maybe he started out young. Maybe they'll count that toward her EGOT if Ace wins one day. Isn't Real Housewives of Lagos on Prime Video? If you have a VPN, you may have to change the location to a different country. That's a good idea, CC. I haven't gotten rid of my Prime yet. I'm looking at them sideways, though, CC, because I haven't liked Amazon in a couple of years. I'm disgusted by a lot of the things that they are doing, and I don't get things delivered as frequently as I used to. So right now, I still just have it because I finished watching Cross. I turned against Alex Cross initially, but by the time we got to the end, I recommend it. I highly recommend it. It was really good. Trust 612 says, Oscar for production maybe, but I agree about her acting skills. Y'all are laughing. Trust 612 agreed with Dear Yvette. Dear Yvette said she couldn't even get the Emmy for The Shy. She wouldn't really see her getting that. So you know she ain't going to act in no movie. Yeah, she's a big-time producer. She had some big names. She had Denzel Washington on one of those plays. Never really cared for Candy either, but she has always been a hustler and a hard worker. I will give her that. Yeah, I will always give Candy her respect for that. Okay, y'all, let me have patience with me. I'm going to share a screen. Then I'm going to go in here. We're going to see what some of these Real Housewives that have been laid off, whether you admit it or not, Lisa. Lisa's out here saying, we're not laid off. Miss Lady, you're laid off. When Andy Cohen pauses you, that pretty much means that's it for your job. So let me find one of her I think it was Alexia and also Lisa. Hopefully I can find out without too much trouble. If not, I will just, let's see, I'll find it on here. If not, I'll just read it. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Real Housewives of Miami cancellation, officially axing Latinx representation. No, that's what people are adding Andy Cohen. Andy don't care like that, though. I don't think he cares that they're adding him. Let's see, that's not the one. Lisa had a statement. If I don't find it, I will go old school and just pull it up on my phone. That might be the best thing to do. But I do find that Andy has a lot more patience for some of these other shows that aren't really giving us story or even doing numbers. Now, Beverly Hills, I guess they're doing numbers, but they're not giving us story. But, you know, they're still there. Same thing with Vanderpump Rules. And I told y'all, the Vanderpump, those new kids, I wasn't interested in seeing them at all. When they had a panel, half the people got up and walked out. That was the time to eat or get drinks and stuff. They just didn't seem interesting. It's like they just wanted, to be on TV. Okay, here's Lisa. This is our lovely Lisa. I don't even follow her because Lisa don't be talking about anything. She's from Real Housewives of Miami, y'all. She said, guys, Real Housewives of Miami is not canceled. Sure, it's paused temporarily, but there are a number of important factors about why this decision was made. Yes, there will be changes, but Miami isn't going anywhere. Love. Y'all, Lisa is crazy as the day is long. Let me see what the people say. The Bravo docket. They said good. And praise hands, she gave a love heart. The Bravo docket is really good, everybody. They have a podcast. I listened to them. They did a deep dive on Colton from Traders. That man should have never been cast. Now, what I'm waiting on them to do is do the story of this bachelorette that they just had to cancel the season on. Alan Craig says, Bravo has treated you guys like the redheaded stepchildren for too long. So the fans aren't going for it. Why the F would they pause Miami? It's so good. They need to pause Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but they boring A. Exactly, but they will always give them grace. Ooh, the Latinos are popping their collar, y'all. They will always give them grace. You know what they're saying, right? It's such a snooze fest the last couple of seasons. Cynthia Bailey said, I love Miami. Cynthia Cheekbones Bailey, we see you. I can't believe they pause in Real Housewives of Miami. You guys have camaraderie and are actually friends. Of all the franchises, Miami's not the one that needs to be paused. Can't wait to see you back on my TV, Lisa. Lisa, I hate to tell you, y'all are paused. I don't care what Lisa's talking about. Now, let me find Alexia's. Let me see. No, Alexia wasn't on Threads. Was Alexia on Threads? I'm going to find Alexia's statement. And I feel like this pause is a little bit more than that. I think they've been canceled, y'all. I do. Unless maybe they would move them back to Peacock. I would watch them on Peacock. I actually prefer watching on Peacock. You don't have to watch the commercials. Alexia says, as a proud Latina, being part of a platform like Real Housewives of Miami on Bravo has always meant more to me than just reality television. It meant visibility, representation, and having a voice. Ooh, these fans are not being nice. MAGA Barbie, sorry, but your husband is part of the reason this happened. Why are we flossing over that? Can you tell Todd to drop the lawsuit? We need you back on TV. The fans stand with you and the rest of the cast. I'm sure Todd is just giddy. Thanks a lot, Alexia. Stop saying low ratings like Beverly Hills and Potomac ain't flopping, Bravo. It's unfair and disrespectful to the Miami cast. I hope you all branch out and do something bigger. As a Latina, it is such a joy to watch you and the whole cast. The way you and Maricel go in and out of Spanish make me feel like home. You all are funny, spicy, and so loving. It's such a great show and a huge bummer to be paused. You know what? I don't mind them being sat down for a minute because the way they assaulted my Gertie and still sitting up here acting like everything is everything, I really don't care. American Born, you love Vanderpump Rules? Vanderpump Rules are not interesting to me, Sharon Gobble said. Me either, Sharon. I tried to get into it. I actually started 1 hour into my 1 hour live. Thank you, Mama Bees. We're going to wind down because I read the 2 statements and I appreciate that time check. Did you get the link I sent? American Born, I'm going to check it. Thank you. What did I do with that? Thank you. You're my Instagram. I'm gonna go in there and check it, and if so, I'm gonna start watching that because I'm looking for a show. Yo, we might have to give a live and just discuss the whole thing. Let's see. I'm not the greatest with Instagram yet. Okay, for me. Okay, thank you. Yes, I do. I do see a link in here. I won't click on it now because I don't want to play out loud. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. So that was for Real Housewives of Lagos. And again, the people inquiring minds want to know, why didn't Bose take them to Ghana since they've already been to Italy? And then dear Yvette had a valid question. Do they even like Bose in Ghana? But you know what? She reps her African gear and her Ghanaian designers and all of that. Now that doesn't mean that she is, in love with her native land. I won't say she's not because I don't know that. I won't take that away from Bose, but I don't know. So glad they canceled The Bachelor because Taylor thought she was cute getting away with stuff and fake playing the victim. See, I don't know. I think that it was mutual combat. I think her and that man were actually fighting, and I think the rage got the best of her and he started filming her. So I still don't think she should have ever been cast. I didn't know this girl had multiple baby daddies. I didn't know that she was over there fighting like that or fighting back like that. But I feel like Disney and Hulu knew. And y'all, they say it is somewhere around $2 million per episode that they're going to lose out, not showing that The Bachelor for the season. So this is a trip. Yeah, you just not. Yeah, Sharon Gabo. I watched the earlier seasons with the Toms and Kristen and all of the earlier people, Stassi. But then when it was clear they were just there for TV, I stopped watching it. I couldn't get into it anymore. American Born. I started at the beginning, so I stuck with it. Okay, yeah. So then you watch The Valley. I don't watch the original Valley, but I started watching The Valley with Reza and Gigi in the Persian version. So I do like that, but not enough to review. Yes, I looked at the first link and it worked. Thank you so much, American Born. I appreciate it. What were y'all watching, American Born? Oh, dear Yvette, the Real Housewives of Lagos. Dear Yvette, if you don't follow me on IG, let me see if I can find that. It's still Sandra P's GenXtra, or look for me on Threads. And if you connect with me, I'll send you the link too. Yeah, the Real Housewives of Lagos. I only found them because there is a lady that I follow on YouTube. Her name is Fumi Desailly Vold, or vice versa. And she is a fashionista. She's a model. Fumi still gets modeling work. She's Nigerian, and she was something like the face of Nigeria or something. She won some kind of national competition for modeling back in the day, and then she came to the States to work, and she has like all these pictures of her with all the Gen X people from back in the day. I mean, like Diddy, and she just worked in LA, in New York. She finally moved back to London and she got married. Fumi had a baby at like 45 or something, but she has a really large YouTube channel, Fumi Desailly Vold or something like that. But she just does a lot of hot topics, things like that. She does motivational speaking, all kind of stuff. But she was interviewing the Real Housewives of Lagos, and those ladies are a trip. Sorry, I was out with the dogs. No, thank you, American Born. Yes, I have the link. Thank you. I appreciate that. Taylor and Dakota are both to blame and toxic. Yeah, those people are, Vanderpump Rules. Oh, American Born, Vanderpump Rules. Sharon and I said we didn't like it, but American Born actually has been watching it since the beginning and still likes it. You watched The Valley? Yeah, I only watched the Persian version of the show with Reza and Gigi and them. Oh, yeah, I watched it from the beginning, too. You did, dear Yvette? I fell off on it once the Toms and then that cheating scandal that they had a lot. Jax, I could not stand. Jax is really suspects. He could be in the sober house. He could be in the Bravo TV sober house. So we'll cast Jax. So far we've got Jax, we've got Katie Ross, Kim Richards, and Karen Huger. So that's 4 castmates for the Bravo TV sober house. I'm gonna pitch that to Andy. Cece says, I follow Fumi too. Yeah, isn't she wonderful, Cece, when she starts laughing and shows her clothes? Do you live? Do you love? Fumi be looking great. She might say, this is a 20-year-old Dolce & Gabbana. And I'm like, Fumi, it's 20 years old? Fumi be looking good. And she'll stop in a minute. I think I hear Adrian. That's her son. She is so funny. Sometimes she'll drag her husband in there, but he's not for the spotlight. He just supports her 100%. The Real Housewives of Charbon is on that page as well, I believe. Okay, they have a lot of shows that I wasn't even aware of. Some of the other Real Housewives, Durban, South Africa. Some of the other housewives, they don't get the attention that the American housewives give, but they give a lot more story and real life and real behavior, and not this stuff that Kyle Richards is trying to feed us. Like, Amanda, how hurt are your feelings that she said you were Pinocchio? I don't want to be called Pinocchio. Girl, we're not going to sit here and watch this, and y'all are at this beautiful estate in Italy. And Bose, why are you entertaining this foolishness? You know you said it. Do you like the new cast? David, do you like the new cast? American Born said, I plan on watching Real Housewives of Durban. Cece, I'm going to catch up on that and Lagos, because I think that'll be well worthwhile. I'll watch any of them. So we're going to have to share those links. I'll go in there. Yvette, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I haven't developed that as much, or Threads, or TikTok, but that's something I need to do. But I've been focusing on YouTube. But everybody, I think now is a good stopping point, because we got through about the Real Housewives of Miami and them being paused, which Lisa actually says they are not canceled. Lisa, we don't believe you. You need more people. I don't think y'all are coming back this time. And again, I think it's because they got out of hand with the bullying. I think the assault of Gertie was more than a lot of us could stomach. And I think the lower numbers were due to that event and how it was handled. And also at their reunion, I noticed the new turn that Andy has taken toward being annoyed, being rude, moving people along. I don't think he let Gertie speak enough. And Gertie, Lord, you know she can speak. She went around in circles. Gertie goes around and around and around and around. She's worse than Angel. Gertie couldn't get it out. She couldn't express herself. So I don't know. I just think it's terrible. So I'll finish up the comments and then we'll end. I used to watch Real Housewives of Melbourne. That's the one I heard was really good, Cece. There was a lady who wore a lot of makeup, and she'd leave makeup on the other lady's furniture, towels. Oh my God. That is a trip. This was fun. Thank you. Thank you, American Born. I appreciate it. I love the lives where we have engagement in the chat. Now, it can go anywhere, but we stuck to the thumbnail pretty much because the other topics were related. I think this bullying is going to actually kill our housewife shows if Andy doesn't get it in hand. And the women themselves, why does Andy have to wrangle them and say, hey, don't gang up on one and threaten a jumper? We don't want to watch that. We are too grown for that, and we're not gonna allow it. Yes, I watched that one as well. So this is Durban. They're saying that one's good too. So we'll start watching that. Replay gang, hit that like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video. Be blessed, everyone. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you joining me on a Saturday night live with Sandra P's GenXtra. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hope you can wind down, rest tomorrow. The beautiful weather carries over. And I actually appreciate every single person that is in this live. And this is everybody still doing crosstalk about the different Real Housewives of Lagos, Durban, Melbourne. Cece said they have real money. So we're going over there, Andy Cohen, since you don't want to show us anything. I'm tired of these people that don't even know their PIN number to their credit cards. Not you, Dr. Wendy, but other people. Nah, Dr. Wendy, I'm not going to end with a lie. Dr. Wendy, that was you. But Dorit, you too. You couldn't swipe your stuff either. Excellent commentary. See ya. Yes, Sharon, I will see you in the YouTube streets. Have a good night, dear Yvette. Thank you so much. Good live. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Trish. And American Born ends laughing. I do too, everyone. Have a great night. And I will see you all. Good night.
Just put a label on it, even if it doesn't change the circumstance. Because there's so much about this moment that is trying to make people feel like they've lost their mind. When in fact, these motherfuckers are crazy.